Welcome to Crucible Radio, the podcast for all things Destiny 2 PvP. It's
everybody.
I'm hoping we have like a funny moment during the show that we can be like, whoa, put that at the beginning so we have a better intro.
Yeah. All of our intros are recorded retroactively so that they fit better on the episode. We don't think of it for hours. We send it to Andrew Sunday night, really super late, last minute. And we're like, hey, we came up with something. And he's like, finally.
I've been waiting.
It's a big week here on the show. I'm Bones. I'm here with Swain and Birds. And we've got this wall of text to talk about, which is exciting and overwhelming and interesting. And
so basically, if you didn't read this Destiny 2 development update yourself, we'll do it for you.
Sit back and relax.
And shout out to a person who listens to this show but didn't read any of this. We got you.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for. But yeah, I mean, this is, we'll get to it actually in a little bit. This is, kind of describing what the next 12 months could possibly look like, which is crazy. So that definitely has some heavy implications. But we're always here to talk about getting better at Destiny, a game we like to play and we like to try to improve within. Since we are not perfect players, we've come a long way since then, but we still have room to grow. And that's our focus. And we like talking about the other fun stuff too.
Yeah. I mean, this big thing coming up isn't going to be entirely PvP, but there's definitely some stuff in it.
That's true. And because this is so, all encompassing, talking about the game as a whole, we're definitely going to talk about the fun stuff and the PvE and from this update as well. And we won't just pick out the Crucible phrases. But anyways, we're about to jump in. I do want to make a little bit of an announcement and drop a plug for an event coming up that I'll be participating in.
Tell me more. Like, do they have a car?
No cars, I don't think, because this is on the internet. But
they have an internet car?
I'll ask.
Yes.
Check. Unrelated to cars, guys. This is not about cars. Actually, a new organization called the Saint 14 Project is having a charity stream to bring mental health awareness and support to the Destiny community. This is started by members of the Destiny community and will involve a lot of members, a lot of content creators and you're familiar with, throughout this little community. And it's going to be a 12-hour event. So this is on February 10th from noon to midnight. I believe that's Eastern time. It's going to be a whole long day to come, hang out, support, spread awareness, talk about something that is all around us and needs more conversation, more nice conversation about it. And so I'm really looking forward to this. I'm actually going to be participating to some extent. I think I'm just going to come on, maybe do like a kind of an interview, sit at the table and talk.
Preview your new rap song.
Yeah, no. No raps on the docket.
A full rap album.
Yep.
Ooh, yeah.
That'll be 4 to 6 p.m.
Yeah. What a venue.
Be sure to check it out.
What a venue to premiere it. But no, I'm really excited to participate and, talk about my own experiences on it. And I think it's a really great thing that these guys are doing for this community and for the gaming world at large. So tell your friends, even if they're not Destiny heads, to stop by. And we'll remind you guys, you can follow them at Saint 14 Project on Twitter and Saint 14 Project on Twitch to stay updated. Okay, guys, anything else you guys want to mention? Just get off your chest. Tell me about your weeks, a funny story that happened before we dive into this developer update. Are you guys interesting at all this week?
I'm just reeling, Bones. I'm reeling over a 1-star review we got.
Wait, what?
Oh,
no.
Oh, no. Shut it down.
Yep.
That's that. We do not respond well to negative feedback.
Firebird 1001. What have I done to wrong you?
What do you say?
Firebird
said, are this guys for real? Not even worth my time.
Firebird?
What? We are for real. What are you talking about?
I'm pretty sure I'm a real person. I don't just exist for your listening pleasure. I have feelings. I'm skin.
Swain has lots of feelings and lots of skin.
Yeah. Not a lot of hair, but that'll come later in the podcast.
Oh, that's great foreshadowing, and people are so confused.
Oh boy.
Tell me we had something good to read. We got other reviews, right?
All right. We lost Firebird.
We want to give some shout outs to folks on the show.
Well, a mental duo gave us 5 stars, and he offered Bones some enchiladas.
Wow. I'll take them. Yes. Mail them.
There you go.
To Crucible Radio P.O. Box. Just put it in a Tupperware, seal it nicely so it's not
No dry ice or anything. Just a Tupperware full of enchiladas. Go into a P.O. box we never check.
I'm going to heat it up. Why would I need it to be cold when I get it? I never understood that.
Do you want it sent to you hot?
I mean, yeah.
Take it to the post office.
Send it to me hot so I can skip the step of having to heat it up and just eat it directly. That's perfectly ideal.
Cool.
All right.
That's gotta go well.
Yeah. Anyways, you can leave us a 5-star review on iTunes if you want to. Maybe we'll read it on the show.
Don't leave a 1-star review because it hurts me personally.
Yeah. Leave a 5-star and make it funny. You can even make fun of us as long as it's 5-star. We'll still be happy about it. It's all about the stars, folks.
Yeah. 5 stars really mean a lot. And it helps other people find our podcast and enjoy it.
Yeah. There's a real reason to do it, not just, my bit, but we appreciate it.
Endless vanity.
Yeah, I'm quite vain. And those 1-star reviews really dig in.
Let me make it work. You're so vain. I bet you think this 1-star review is probably about you. Enchiladas, 5-star. Okay, no, I tried. 5 stars for trying, please. I got this sick drop from Zur. I guess he had a limited supply of the Colony. I like this thing pretty good. I've wanted it for a long time. Now I got it. And
isn't it bugged on PC? Didn't
what does that
Fallout
mean?
Do some sort of?
Because it's full of bugs. It shoots little bugs.
Yeah, it's bugged.
I'm
because
pretty
it's
sure
full
they got
of
that on
bugs.
console too.
No, he said something about it not working as well on PC.
I mean, it works pretty good when you shoot it at people's faces, or they go into a little hallway and you shoot it in the hallway, and then you wait for a sec and you don't know what's going to happen, but then they, yeah. +1. So.
I've been going to Zur regularly on Fridays or maybe sometimes on Saturdays. And every time I go, I forget about a certain exotic that I thought I had. And I click that faded engram 100% without a doubt, expecting Telesto. And then I just find out like, oh yeah, I guess I never had Stompies on PC. Thanks. Oh yeah, Feedback Fence. Forgot that existed. And that's going on 4 weeks in a row now. So there's gotta be, I gotta be done. I gotta get Telesto next week. It's gotta happen. There's no way I'm forgetting something now.
I mean, I feel like most weeks going to Zur is just to buy exotics that I don't want and have no intention of using, just to take them out of the exotic pool. So that faded engram will be so much sweeter. I made Mrs. Birds go get Spine of Ahamkara for me, which, let's be honest, is not going to see much playtime.
Yeah, it's right in the vault.
Just get it out of the way. Yep. I just straight dismantle it. Just get those 5 shards right back.
I want it because other people have it. And that's all I need. That's all I need.
So I watched Fallout's video real quick.
Oh, timely.
And
okay, what's the deal?
The higher the FPS you run on PC, the shittier the tracking is on your bugs.
What?
I love there's a graph that says like, as frames go up, shitty goes up.
They're directly correlated.
What are the units of shitty? Is it just 3 poops, 6 poops?
Nah, man, just 1 salad poop.
Just poop size, poop poop diameter.
Yeah. Wow.
Got it.
What are we talking about?
This podcast is really going down the toilet.
Firebird 1001 was right.
Oh, you got me shook, man.
We have fear aura now that we're going to do a bad podcast because he said that.
Together. Keep it together.
All right, I'm going to launch right into it. Let's go.
Can I just say first that we've got a long overdue faction rally coming up, and I'm really looking forward to it because this Future War Cult auto rifle looks so cool. The Dead Orbit one, I want it so bad.
Lion themed New Monarchy stuff. There's like the Titan Mark has the ornament that you can get, and it looks so good.
Lion.
And it has a giant golden lion on it. Chainmail.
Everything lions. I've been staring at the unlockable ornaments on my Future War Cult Titan set for so long, wanting to make that Future War Cult logo slightly more prominent and add lots more dots to it. I've had to wait. Soon I will have my day.
The dots are tight. The Future War Cult colors, like, finally getting to that.
They finally made it happen.
Like, that is actually sick. And I'm not just like, sort of settling for the one weird blue-yellow thing. They're actually pretty dope. And the dots really work well with shaders, I found out. So yeah, I'm going to have to go one Guardian each again. I have not decided who's getting what. Man, it's all good.
Oh,
man,
really?
Your Hunter should be the New Monarchy for sure.
It's tough, man. Because I've also I've put Hunter at New Monarchy before. So maybe I think I'm going to do Hunter Future War Cult. But like, if I want the ornaments, I got to have like my full Future War Cult Warlock set and use that during a faction rally to get the ornament. So maybe I want to do that. There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Decisions. Whatever. That's not what we're here to talk about. Destiny 2 development update.
Oh, I was not expecting this much. They really, way to write a novel Destiny dev team. Oh,
yeah,
wow. I mean, we should probably talk about, before we dive into this, is like how we normally deal with these things, especially with our show. If you're a new listener, you're like, man, these guys did never talk about how the Crucible needs to be changed or the things that are coming up. Well, I feel like we need to address the fact that we play the game we have. And we have been doing this for 3 years.
Yeah.
And it's a great way to view the Crucible and this game, especially through its ups and downs, which it has many throughout the past 3 years.
And every time it changes and every time the game we have is different, we adapt and reapproach with fresh eyes and see what works, what's new. And it's pretty cool to just, sort of accept that it's always going to be different. And there's a lot of ways to approach it, but it's worked out well so far.
I mean, I think the part about this that's not obvious is that the thing about playing the game you have is that technically you can actually only ever play the game.
Whoa.
The game that you have. I mean, you could think about what it could be, or you could find some different game that you also have if you've been doing lots of digital downloads, and you could play that. But aside from like games that you have, you can't play other games unless you make games. And so we've always enjoyed playing games, which by definition we have. Am I spelling this out? Is this making sense?
Yeah,
is this clicking?
I hope you guys get it, all you digital downloaders.
No, I mean, like it stems from the Playbook's manifesto of, if we're going to give you tips, we got to be able to give it to you within the structure of the way the game plays currently. And if you're going to be looking to improve, you can't really improve if you're constantly thinking about what it could be or what it was.
Yeah.
So
it feels like it's all about like, oh, you're a take or your opinion on the game, or it's our take or it's our opinion on the game that the game's great no matter what problem. But really it's like, no, I literally cannot improve if my brain is full of things about like, well, what if it was different like this? Like, it is such a distraction on the path to improvement to be talking about like, well, I would be better if lightning grenades were not such a menace. It's like, well, all right, but they're currently the way they are. So I guess stay bad, So it's literally approach to improvement is that you have to address what's in front of you and adapt, or else, nothing happens.
Long before the show even started, I had some very bad scrub mentality when it came to things that were crazy good.
For sure.
And I would be like, these are why would you even run that? That's the worst. Like, you are the worst. You're ruining this for me. And I'm looking back on it, it was like, all right, well, that kept me from improvement. Like, it kept me from actually using the things that would do well, or seeing it in a different light where, okay, people are using those other things. If I want to be different and be off meta, I've got to accept.
Nothing wrong with that.
I've got to accept that. I got to accept the fact that I'm purposely giving myself a disadvantage to do something weird and funky and have a good time. So reshaping your viewpoint goes a long way towards enjoyment.
And look, this is not to say that we don't have a wish list of things we'd like to see in the game.
Oh, it's on my Twitter.
If you listen to the show. I mean, you'll hear it in the show. You'll hear it when you talk to us, or you talk to our fans. I mean, all of our listeners have got something that they'd like to see in the game. But I think even sort of within, just the three of us, we are not always on the same page about what we like and what we don't like and what we should have and what we shouldn't. Sometimes we are, but I think the thing that I like is the common ground that we all share is the game that we have and trying to win at it. That is the one thing that everyone who listens and everyone who records this podcast has in common. So we're riding this wave right now of Destiny, the game we have, and we just got a big old list of what Destiny will be in the future. So I guess, with that in mind, why don't we start to think about what's coming up and find our new common ground.
Well put. All right, now for the fourth time, this development update, I want to launch into it. What it is
way to write a novel, Destiny. I already do that one.
Game director Christopher Barrett has delivered an update now that Bungie is back from the holidays and they've had a chance to, literally write down what's happening. So this is sort of like not a roadmap. It's not a calendar schedule. It's just literally what's being worked on.
It feels like Chris took a tour of the studio and asked everyone what they're doing.
Yeah, very much.
What are you working on to make this better for everyone? Like, what do you think the changes are going to be? And he just scribbled a bunch of notes onto a notepad and was like, okay, I'll be back if I need to clear that up. But really, it really touches on the whole studio.
And also not just directionless. Oh, this might be cool, but how it relates to what folks are looking for or interested in, stuff like that. It's obviously tied to the conversation with the community. So right off the bat, there's stuff about the content and access to the content. You'll figure this out if you look it up. I don't know how much we have to dive into this. Just that
they got a diagram.
Yeah, they got a nice little diagram. Expansions are something you pay for. They bring on new gear, a raid lair and a destination. Whereas seasons have events and the end game playlists, and you get all the updates no matter what. And we're currently in season 2. Season 3 sounds like it's bringing a lot of fun stuff. And also right off the top, they address Eververse, and I liked this one. They hit a lot of things that in my head, I was like, that'd be great if they did this. And it's kind of exactly what I had hoped / expected. But basically, there's a lot of content in Eververse. By content, I mean loot that makes you feel good when you get it. And now some of that stuff's being shifted back over to activities like the raids. And, that hardest to do content is now going to have a more interesting loot pool with guaranteed rewards, with some still stuff at Eververse. And this also impacts future seasonal events. We just had the Dawning, which in my opinion probably couldn't have been changed. It was just too late, but it was a good learning experience. So upcoming Crimson Days, they've adjusted the structure. And yes, Crimson Days. If you remember Crimson Days from D1, if you've been around that long, it was this cute little Valentine's Day event and it's starting this year again, February 13. And it had this nice little vibe at the tower. It was covered in rose petals, very cute, and it involved a playlist called Crimson Doubles. Now I don't know if they've really explained how doubles is going to work. I've seen the logo with the two swords for that Crucible playlist, so I bet it's still that. But this is going to be another event where you can do your milestones and get Crimson Days rewards exclusive to that event, which is pretty cool. The shaders look really dope. I saw that little icon on that screenshot or whatever. Those shaders look real good.
I feel like I've been missing my pink and purple paisley.
Yeah. I'm trying to be, beautiful, and I'm getting a little tired of the all white shaders that I feel like are the only things I can pull off on my hunter. It's either all white or like emo, all black and blue. So I need some red in this. I need some red in my life.
Yeah.
Continuing on to these sort of like grand picture sort of things. They do mention XP rates again. This has been a thing that came up a couple months ago. Basically, make it interesting to do a variety of activities rather than grinding one single one to rank up and stuff like that. So that's going to be a thing that changes, and I probably won't really notice when it happens, but hopefully we'll start seeing the changes just subconsciously, and it'll be great.
The one thing up the top that I think we forgot to mention was, though, this is just all in the idea that they're going to communicate more and give us more updates similar to this, more frequently. But at the top, he kind of mentions like one of the reasons they didn't do it before is because when you're developing something and you're laying something out there, it will probably change. It's almost guaranteed it will change off of its first iteration. And I kind of like vaguely remember like some things like way back in Destiny 1's beginnings where it was like, oh, they mentioned something and it never came to fruition. And you were like, hey, what happened to that thing? Like, why didn't that exist? Like, things just kind of get pushed around and pulled up and pulled back. And it's nice that they're giving us all these roadmaps and giving us an idea of what they're working on, but take it with a grain of salt in certain areas because it's not a guarantee.
Yeah, I mean, as someone who works in that kind of industry, it is terrifying to open up the roadmap and show people what it is. You are writing a whole lot of checks that people are going to start cashing the minute you announce that the checks exist. And then you go to the bank and they say, look, this is post dated for another 2 months out. And you say, yes, but I need it now. And yeah, things change, things shift. You have to move things around, or you realize, we're 1 week away from making this a lot better. But I think it's a good step. I certainly am excited to have a better sense of what's coming up, and surprises are fun, but it's nice to get hype about something over time. But I don't know. I mean, I think it's just important to recognize that it's kind of a big deal to see it all, and well before the reveal stream cycle starts, and the DLCs are announced, that we're looking at 3 releases coming up, and there's a lot in them. So should we dive in? This first release, January 30th. So all of about 2 weeks or so from this episode. Yeah,
slap that on your calendars. I reading this, honestly, I kind of blurred past that, and it's great that it is actually on the calendar there. So this is I
totally put it in my calendar. Like, masterwork this day.
Yes. First thing on this list of January 30th. I'm so excited for this. Masterwork Armor. So this system that was added to weapons is now going over to armor. I remember the little forum post that kind of went under the radar where they talked about this, and I was like, that is super intriguing. So now they're adding it, and I think Masterworks is an awesome little element of the game that came in. It was nice and smooth, and now they can sort of build on it and expand on it and see where it can go in the future. But we've got this perk that can go on your armor. And similar to Masterwork weapons, you can upgrade a piece of armor to Masterwork by spending Masterwork cores. And there are stats that we can't quite see yet. We don't know which sort of mod you might get, but the overall mod that all Masterwork armor will do is provide increased damage reduction while using your super.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah, they're checking a lot of boxes with this. I mean, we gain the ability to take, that same piece of legendary armor that you've got 5 on, take the one that you've got your favorite mod on, and then push it one step further, one of a kind with the Masterwork set. They're giving players who do that a bonus, increased damage reduction while using your super, and also thinking about the Masterwork weapons, shooting, going on multi-kills with Masterwork weapons increases orbs. I mean, these both kind of fit together to like increase the super game. And you imagine a 4-stack all running Masterwork everything. That's gotta add up. And transmog too while they're at it.
Well, I remember them saying that adding Masterwork armor in would be tough because there's 5.
Right.
Was it 5?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Well, with the class item.
5, with the class item. So adding the Masterwork armor, I'm wondering if it stacks a lot, like between the 5. So if you have all 5, your super reduction goes up by small increments until it reaches like a top out.
Yeah.
And then obviously whatever the mod does on the Masterwork armor, it can't be too crazy because then you would just like load up on all of one or, have one of each on each one. So we'll see how it changes the game, but I think it's going to be a very small bump in every direction.
I don't think it's gonna be changing any stats aside from re-rolling what the stat type is.
Your mobility or resilience.
Give you a +1 mobility. That would be a lot. That would be people running very stat heavy.
That's what I'm curious about. What is the stat that we're re-rolling? Because just 5 extra points to your.
I think it's the stat type. So this is the recovery armor, the resilience armor, or the mobility armor. I think
so. Sort of suggesting that a survivalist hunter set could become a heavy hunter set with a Masterwork. Okay.
Yeah, so you've got everything locked in except you don't have the helm you want, and you have one you really like, but it's the mobility helm. Well, you can re-roll it and maybe get that survivalist stat roll that you want on it, and get this damage reduction during your super. I guess sort of thinking about these, the Masterworks, like that base stat across the board, it's really about the orb economy. And we talked about this a little bit when Masterwork weapons first came out, that, this is something that is going to, again, reward coordinated teams. So, that make an effort to go pick up the orbs that others have created. I mean, I could see, you're already in a good position if you can sort of snowball your supers together. So, get off one clean super, everyone picks up the orbs and just keep on rolling. Yeah, This seems like it's not nothing. This seems like this could make a pretty significant change for teams that are willing to take advantage of it. Or maybe you just want to look fly.
Yeah, this is going to be a really fun addition to the grind. And I mentioned it previously, just like, man, I just want to get so specific with my perfect favorite little armor set and then call it like, this is my Dawnblade set, and not have to think like, I'll change just the arms when I switch subclasses and all that, trying to find the right perks. I want to spend the time and say everything on this set is just what I need for this subclass. And maybe I'll throw on a specific shader that works with a Sunbro or something like that. But this is like the ultimate grind for me, so I'm excited.
Can I just say too, whoever picked this screenshot of the hunter with the purple arms and the luminescent chest and the rope heavy cloak and then just the unshaded Mercury mask. That is hideous. Good on you. I approve.
That's that raid layer cloak, which I think is the coolest hunter cloak in the game, but it's really hard to match with stuff. Really tough.
I don't think they even tried to match it with stuff.
I don't think so. So also in the January 30th update, they mention a raid reward rework. That's a fun little tongue twister. But I mentioned this earlier. You get different kind of drops, more frequent, more interesting. And they now feature mods with raid specific perks. So you're going to get something that you can throw on your armor set for that set you've designed just for the raid that, kill Cabal more.
The one thing in here I like the most is that the raid vendor will also directly sell Leviathan and Eater of Worlds armor and weapons for purchase with raid tokens and legendary shards. So this is similar to how they do the Crucible stuff and all that. It'll probably have all of the armor. So like you have a chance to get all the armor. And then like the other spots in the tower, one weapon. Was it one or two? I think it's just one, right? It'll probably switch out week to week what the weapon is so that, it's not constantly the same thing and you don't always have a chance to get every single thing every week. So if you don't have a certain thing, save up your shards and your tokens and you can just purchase it.
This is also our first peek at what new mods we've got coming down the pipeline. I believe they talk about it a bit more later in the update, but I like the idea of raid-specific mods, not because that is relevant to me or I'll ever use them, but because I understand the idea, which is that sometimes you put together an armor set with a shader that's going to work well in the Crucible, right? Like you look good, but you're not too glaring. Maybe you've got, you blend into the background well. But the raid is the time to really put on your loudest armor and show off and put some perks on to match with it. So, your parade set. So, yeah, and just good to have some more options too, or something a little more activity specific. I wonder if this means we'll get Crucible specific mods.
Ooh. Well, we're talking about mods right now, actually, in this next little phase of the blog, because this next chunk is the February update, and this one does not have a date yet. Who knows?
Which is after January 30th.
It is after January 30th. Maybe it'll happen.
Are we
with
sure
Crimson
about that?
Days. Pretty sure.
Pretty sure. Yeah, pretty sure.
So in the February update, this has a nice little variety here. We got strike scoring. The timer on the Nightfall is done. Strikes are fun, blah, blah, blah. I want to talk about other things in this list. Mods 2.0. Now, I want to say, as we go from the rest of this all the way to the end, because I think at the end is when we'll be able to discuss it, because we're not going to mention much sandbox just yet. Okay, we're getting to the sandbox. And there's little of it, but there's like phrasing throughout that I think is so interesting and so important to think about when we're considering what's really going to happen. So mods 2.0, I'll talk about these little hints in here. So they're trying to fully rework armor and weapon mods, reducing redundancy,
rework.
More unique theming, increasing their impact on your power.
Again, greatly increasing their impact.
That's what I'm talking about. We got to listen to these words.
Greatly increasing.
What is that? That is very interesting. These are not just like the convenient reload. I don't know. They're greatly increasing their impact. Okay, great. This one is a general February release, but they are mentioning that because maybe the scope of this rework is large enough, parts of it might get pushed back. But that's cool because it means they're doing a lot to it, and it's not just adding, power weapon recoil direction or something.
So one of the things about mods, the way I felt about them was always like, I'll get to it later. It never really felt to me like I'm just like, okay, I have to put this on, and other than like I want my max light level, like this is going to help me reach it. So put on a purple mod, make sure I have it. Mm-hmm. I never really felt the pull to like put on the right mods for whatever subclass I'm using yet, and I kind of always just say like hoarded them. I'm like, I'll deal with this later, kind of feeling, kind of how I felt with like tier 12 in Destiny 1. Like, okay, I'll get to it. I'm just gonna hoard all these armor pieces, and one day I'll have a tier 12 build. But for me, it feels like the way they're looking at mods. They're looking at mods like they can find a way to increase things, like kind of like how you like have a socket wrench, you like ratchet up just a little bit at a time. And they can get these like small increases across the board or even bigger increases in certain areas. And I think mods are the way to do it. Like mods are going to be a good way to like, all right, well, people are feeling a little underpowered. Like, how do we do this right and make it so that they can feel like super powered? Maybe it'll be something like increases your movement speed. Like you go faster. That's one thing that I know people miss is being able to go faster.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing about this that appeals to me is the idea of reducing redundant mods. There's a situation for everything, and there's probably some time where I really want to build, a solar melee cooldown armor set. But even with the changes to the gunsmith to let you buy mods directly and have those rotating, which has been a big help, it has felt that, as long as mods are sort of dropping randomly from a pool, that you end up getting a lot of very element-specific cooldown mods that just don't, they just lower your chances of being able to sort of grind out the specific one that you're looking for. I mean, I've definitely burnt through a maxed out Glimmer pool multiple times trying to get, those resilience and recovery mods that I'm after. And so I think having a bit of a simplification there, I mean, maybe we'll see element removed. So, you can build a Paragon mod set without having to collect the Void particular version of those. I guess that's what I'm hoping for. It should be interesting. And I think, it's a more interesting blend of giving something people to grind for, because there's still RNG. You still have to grind for it, but it's not, just chasing that one AS Luna, right? With the perfect set of perks on it. You have a little bit more control to take something that you like and buff it up to the point where it's giving you an edge. Up next, quick play improvements.
Yay!
They're improving quick play.
You just say that to me and I'll be happy.
Cool. So they're going to be increasing the pace of gameplay, whatever that means, and power ammo acquisition. I think I know what that means. This one will be interesting. I wonder, certainly it's no secret that the community is looking for more chances to use their power weapons to, rock your shotgun or, really be able to build a play style around a fusion rifle, for example. So making power ammo more available, making it less something to negotiate with your team who's going to get it each round, or who's going to take it for themselves each round. And in quick play too, you can kind of probably lose a little bit of that element of, playing power ammo as an objective where you're going to keep people off of it or, try and bait them out into the open to pick up that power ammo. And there's just plenty of it. You go get it. It's quick play. Go shotgun somebody. It'll be funny.
I'd like to see more than one person get power ammo from like a drop and maybe be like, hey, if you aren't like right there, or if you're not the one that pulled it, you get less power ammo. Know what I mean? So if you're like standing nearby, but you didn't collect it yourself, you get like, you get 2.
Ooh.
Or 1.
I like that.
So there's still an incentive to pull it yourself, but you don't have to worry about it too much.
I like that. Well, this should be interesting. Should certainly stir the pot in quick play a little bit. What else have we got here? PC Tower Chat. Everyone's been champing at the bit for that one. So good stuff there. Exotic repetition reduction. Well, Bobby, this will prevent players from receiving the same exotic twice in a row, because ain't that some shit.
All I need is Telesto. This will kick in for the next expansion maybe, but like, hope to God I have Telesto before this thing has to help me out.
I've gotten so many Syntheseps, and like, thank you for the Syntheseps, but like, I need other things too. Give me the other things.
Yeah.
Well, you're too good for more Syntheseps. I think you're better than a lot of Syntheseps.
All right, let's keep going on this because, guys, I'm looking at the next little section of my screen here, and this is good. We also got fire team members showing up on the destination map. That's February.
Oh,
then we got a title they're getting vaguer and vaguer as we get farther out. As they said, it becomes less and less clear how and when this will get applied.
What happens if the groundhog doesn't see a shadow?
Your characters get deleted.
No,
just yours,
man.
not like in general.
Which one's the which? Like, what's longer? Winter?
I think if
Wait. Since none of us know it, what are our guesses?
I feel like if he doesn't see his shadow, it's because
the sun is higher.
No, it's because there's more clouds.
Wait,
and
what?
More clouds now mean that there's more. It's going to take longer to get rid of them. More winter. He needs to see.
So if he sees his shadow, it's an early spring.
That's right.
But all right, let's.
Does this have anything to do with the canary in the coal mine?
No, I don't think so.
What happens if he sees a canary?
It was the groundhog in the coal mine.
It's not about seeing the canary. It's the canary freaking out because you're about to like die from radiation or something.
What's the whole
radiation
situation?
What is it?
Oh, guys, the groundhog is also known as the woodchuck. So
Punxsutawney Phil, right?
Punxsutawney.
Punxsutawney?
Yeah.
Why do I feel like Philly cares more about the name of this groundhog than I do?
Hey, I have to. In Pennsylvania, they have a commercial all the time where it's a groundhog scratching lottery tickets. And he's like, and they always mention how this groundhog is the second most famous groundhog in Pennsylvania. I have to hear it all the time.
God damn it, guys. Ranked Crucible is coming.
I
want to talk about
this.
this.
Hold on.
Did you know that young groundhogs may be called chucklings and that groundhogs are literally the opposite of extinct? So if you see a groundhog, just go get them. There's a lot more.
About to chuckling you guys off this podcast.
Okay. All right. Punxsutawney Phil has created a name for himself on this widely popular tradition. On February 2nd, people within the city will gather to find out whether or not Phil's shadow is revealed. With that, he will allegedly determine whether spring will soon begin by not seeing his shadow or if winter will ensue for 6 more weeks.
That's still unclear.
Yeah. What? How did that not answer it?
So there's also important to know that the most popular of these groundhogs are Punxsutawney Phil. But there's also Weorton Willie, Jimmy the Groundhog, and Staten Island Chuck. So, there's Southern groundhogs too, including Smith Lake Jake and General Beauregard Lee. So, they're also used in medical research on hepatitis B and liver cancer.
So if it sees the shadow,
fascinating Wikipedia page.
It's 4 more weeks of winter. We got it wrong. Simple as that.
That's bullshit. All right. It is time to get to this Crucible section. But before we do, we've got to give a shout out to our sponsor this week. We're going there. Bones.
Oh, what? I'm not even listening.
I got something to tell you.
What?
Hair loss isn't just your dad's problem. It happens earlier in life than you think. In fact, by 35, 2 out of 3 men will start losing their hair.
Whoa, man, I am one of those 2. I have no hair.
I'm all right. Then that means I'm the third.
You need to be scared, Bones.
All right. Tell me what I need to do.
I feel like looking at my family, I'm good on the hair front, but probably I'm going to have a lot of problems with bones later. not you bones. That's unrelated. Just all the bones in my body.
I believe that in a few years you'll have a lot of problems with me. Sure, that makes sense. That tracks.
Yeah, right. Matter of time. So that's why we're telling you about our sponsor. This week, it's Keeps, a new company offering a simple, clinically proven, affordable way to stop hair loss. It's complete with the only 2 FDA-approved hair loss products. Keeps is clinically proven to help you keep the hair you have.
Well, Bones, you should be afraid. I should like my hair will be like the ghost of Christmas future. I don't know. Comes back and scares you.
Plus, Keeps is entirely online, and it only costs $10 to $35 a month. Come on, half of what you typically pay at the pharmacy. And sign up is so easy. It takes less than 5 minutes.
So just answer a few questions, snap some photos, and a licensed doctor remotely reviews your information and gives you the right prescription.
And within 2 to 3 days, a 3-month supply of your treatment will arrive at your door. People, this is your head hair we're talking about. You want to keep it $10 to $35 a month. Stop hair loss today the easy way with Keeps. It offers customized treatment plans with only FDA-approved hair loss products for about $1 a day from the comfort of your own couch.
So to receive your first month of treatment for free, go to keeps.com/manliness. That's keeps.com/manliness. And that's a free month of treatment at keeps.com/manliness.
Keeps. Hair today, hair tomorrow.
It's a lot of hair. I don't have that.
We've been instructed to tell you that.
Guys, can we talk about rank play, all right? I get it'll be less manly once I lose my hair, but seriously.
All right. Spring 2018. Bones, paint me a word picture about spring 2018.
All right. So like I was saying, this is where, we're not having calendar days on this, but that means that they have probably a lot of stuff and a lot of ideas to churn about and to get ready. So think of this as like season 3. This is where the big stuff happens. They're going to talk to more about this. Obviously, this is not the only piece of information we'll have on this until it happens. But in the Crucible, we now get ranks, and it comes in 2 forms. Actually, it's not even just one ranked on its own thing. So we got 2 types. The first one is Valor, and that's a progression rank that goes up as you complete matches. So you do move faster if you win, but there are no loss penalties. This is that goal for each season to, reach the end each time. And it's good because you don't have to feel like you're losing and never going to progress. The other one, though, this is where it gets heated, is Glory. And that's a progression rank that goes up when you win and down when you lose. So this is just performance. And this is where, it shows.
So it kind of seems similar to that game, the other game that we put money in the jar for.
The one with the league.
Yeah. Where you have
owls.
And owls.
I'm a little bit out of the loop on this one. So
for me, though, it seems very similar to Overwatch and their ranking system, but just not as intense. We'll hopefully see how it evolves once it gets to us. But essentially, in Overwatch is you do bad, you go down. If you do good, you go up. Simple as that.
This is a cool mode where you can say, like, let's get a team together and try to play. And then when I'm just solo queuing for a little bit each night, I don't have to worry about it. That works for me. At the same time, we got ranked play, but we also gotta get the scrims going because private matches are on their way. Finally, after a while, they went away for a while, and I'm eager to see them come back. I'm truly, truly eager to see what the options are. Now, we don't have the full list of features and perks. Again, this is all stuff we're going to learn, but messing around with countdown, survival, I see, revives allowed in survival, so we can sort of alter the game types a little bit, different maps as opposed to just the ones you get in the playlists. So I don't know. Can you just play countdown on any map? That sounds sick. Do they put points on them? Cool.
I would love to see just like not endless, but a ton of different ways to modify your private matches so that the community can kind of do its own thing and come up with its own types of game modes, essentially. Mm-hmm. We've seen it in other games before where it's like, oh, they just basically created its own thing. When you have the options, it kind of becomes limitless to what you could do.
I mean, these 2 things coming up, this is, I don't know how to put this. These are both really cool things that I'm looking forward to. I like the idea of having a ranked playlist to even if you're solo queue, to have something to work towards that just rewards time spent in the Crucible. And they've split it out a little bit, because that just the SR system that can be a little bit stressful. Losing and watching your rank go down is pretty painful.
If it's broken out between competitive playlists being where you alter your rank and quick play being just that, it being quick play, I think it'll give more life to both playlists, obviously, because then you'll have people that were like, oh, I'm just like casually playing, let me go in the quick play. And if someone's like, okay, we're really trying to get into it, it'll just be like, okay, you want a really good sweaty match of Crucible? All right, I'm going to go into the comp playlist and play that. So you have your options.
There's one thing they said here that is worth maybe reading entirely too much into. So with Glory, goes up when you win and down when you lose. Got it. Makes sense. But they do say performance is how you move up here. And this I wonder about. I mean, we've got 3 sentences here to describe what this Crucible rank is going to be. But it makes you wonder, is this purely just tied to whether you win? Is this looking at your individual performance within the match? I mean, if we all lose, but, Bonesy, let's say you went off, does that mean you're going to lose less glory than me if I was the one who really tanked it all match? I mean, that can be a lot of pressure, but I think having some nuance there, and I imagine this is something we're going to see evolve over time as well, is really going to, push the needle to motivate people to really try and up their game, and to have this coming out with private matches as that way where you up your game by playing with your friends and putting on restrictions. Fits together.
I know Overwatch had some like they went through a few iterations before they landed on where exactly they, how you performed to affect your SR.
Yeah, literally, this is like the most recent change to competitive in that game. Is it's no longer about some weird specific point system within a hero. It's did you win or did you lose? And that doesn't mean that that's actually the best and perfect scenario, because the competitive playlist over there is likely to change in the future. So it is interesting. How will we approach it in this game? What's going to be the system? Will it work differently? What's the best option?
And what episode did we talk about it? We kind of like did our own ranking system before the season, like before Destiny 2 dropped. So go back and listen to that episode and get a feel for, like, once the ranking starts to come out, though, you'll have a even better feeling of where you are skill wise, because you'll get your rank and just be like, okay, well, now I've got something to work towards. Like, what's the next one? And that grind, though, will help you improve.
Yeah, there's nothing like a rank that follows you over the course of a season to let you know what you should be working on at any given point. I realize I've sort of got a thing going here. I'd like to comment on both of the images that they picked. First off, whatever that ship is that like a dead orbit ship?
That's Ikora's. It's on sale, birds. Log in.
Oh my God, I'm going to go get it. That's the dopest ship I've ever seen. Oh my God.
It is the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah, I've never even considered buying a ship until right now. Good Lord. Also in the second image, you spelled Altar of Flame wrong. ALTER. Come on, mock-up screenshot. Get it together.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, Altar asterisk. But
are you not going to comment on the names of the players?
Oh no, they seem fine.
Keep your shirt on.
The Bungie fake accounts have always been pretty solid.
Keep.com. System Magic Risk.
Going to tell Dad.
Moves the Needle is a star in the Bungie screenshots and gameplay demos.
Definitely has made the rounds before. If this alone was what was coming as part of spring 2018 for the Crucible, something old and something new, I think that'd be a pretty big deal. But like, oh my God, we can keep scrolling down. There's a lot more coming. Good Lord. Including 6v6. 6v6 is back. That seemed unlikely.
You concerned about the map sizes for this, though?
No, I've never heard anyone point that out yet.
I don't know. Literally, 6v6 is pure chaos. Why not? Do it in a tiny. There's been so many games.
I mean, we've played 6v6 on Anomaly.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, and throughout shooters and Bungie games, like, it's exciting to play a big team fight on a tiny little map, especially one that's like it's like symmetrical. There's nowhere to hide. Go for it. Whatever. That's the point, is to make 6v6 a more chaotic experience where you're going to get shot by some rando who spawned behind you.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a pretty clear difference there, which is in 4v4, you generally have one front, and you have flanks too, but you have one front, and that's where the fight is happening, and you really have to pay attention to that. With 6v6, you can have two fronts, you can have three fronts, you can have 12 people running around in sheer chaos with the kills going to those who best have their head on a swivel. Bring it on. I mean, and just looking at, they've got Vostok up right here. I think there's a number of maps that are going to pretty comfortably support 6v6, Vostok being one of them. I mean, yeah, take your pick, whatever they're calling Shores of Time these days.
I'm sure Endless Veil will be just fine.
Of course, we've got Mayhem coming back. Probably not super surprising, but that was fun. More fun than D1 Mayhem, IMO. So nice to have that one come back around. And then, Making Good, the second time we're hearing about it. Some changes to make quitting less common and some behind-the-scenes security improvement.
So that will go amazingly with the ranked, because if you leave ranked playlists, you get penalized very, very heavily for being an asshole.
Wonderful.
Don't leave games.
Don't leave games. I'll hate you. Okay, guys, there's this bullet point that we gotta like move through. Let's hit the hot ones, because this is some stuff, and this is, again, really getting far out there, but it could come sooner, could come later. This is all additional to spring. Like, it still keeps going. A weapon and ability balance pass, sandbox adjustments. Yes, hearing very little about this. We'll talk about one more thing at the end here about that. We've also got exotic weapon and armor balance passes. Okay, adjusting those ones we're not wearing, the ones we didn't tell you to wear in last week's episode. Maybe those they'll rise up. Seasonal reputation. You get to see how much you've really grinded in the Crucible this season. You get to know how many engrams you've received, that sort of thing.
That feels similar to like the record book.
Yeah. We've got, they're trying to improve the seasonal events like Iron Banner faction rallies. They're trying to reduce the repetition when you get into a playlist, Supremacy 7 games in a row or repeating a strike, that sort of thing, just making it flow nicer, and endgame, right? That's what we want. We want stuff to cause pursuit. Can I go do that hardest activity? Is it worth it? Will it be fun? Multi-emote wheel, vault space. Guys, what's sticking out to you in this list? Because it's all there. What is really sticking out?
I've got a lot of stories to tell people right after I kill them that involve first opening a ramen shop and then pointing at them and laughing, and then sweeping up the ramen I just threw on the ground, and then some other thing I haven't figured out yet, because I cannot believe that we're going to have 4 emote slots. I really came to rely on it in that other game. I'm so psyched for that. We've got vault space too, another 50 slots. Clean your vault out. Your vault is gross and disgusting, and use dim and use the filter is dupe, and it'll just show you all the dupes. It's so effective, but another 50 slots is nice.
Yeah, and they do mention that, they're not saying that that's the perfect solution. Just add, infinite more slots as we go along. They're also adding ways to categorize it and organize it, which is my favorite thing to do. It's just like neatly organize some stuff during my free time between games. So that's really cool.
Yeah, I do feel for people like Javier, who literally keeps everything, because he's like a collector more so than, playing fully every weekend and wake out. He wants all the cool stuff. So
yeah, I get that. I am the opposite. I get it. I will tell you how to keep it clean, but also I just have no sentimental attachments after I look at something and see that it's been in my vault for 2 weeks. I'm like, I get it. I'm not using that one.
And then we got a lot of bullet lists. And can I just say, I love a bullet list. Fall 2018 and sooner. Let's lightning round these, and between each one, you guys just make the non-word based noise you think best responds to each one. Item collections and records.
Huh?
Yeah, right.
Weapon slot and archetype improvements.
Huh?
Additional Crucible playlist. E.g. of Rumble. Oh my god. Better clan rewards.
Give me the Rumble.
Masterwork exotics. Pinnacle weapon and gear improvements.
Yeah. Whoops.
Trials of the Nine improvements.
Okay.
Shaders and dismantling.
Yes.
The future of guided games.
Oh yeah.
Address solo versus fire team matching.
Oh yeah.
I feel like if you could describe that whole bullet list with a GIF, it would be the Vince McMahon.
Just the head rolling back.
It just keeps switching back to him, and he's reacting more intensely each time.
We've got this final note here, which I think is a nice segue to the next thing. I feel obligated to say the smallest possible version of this, which is that everyone who's played this new game has got a wish list. And we just got told a huge list of things that we're getting in response to putting them on our wish list, being good boys and girls, and asking Santa nicely. And I think that is pretty cool. That is the best possible outcome in this situation. Mm-hmm. So, maybe your thing, maybe my thing has not shown Rumble. It showed up on the list. Maybe it's not there yet. But the fact that we heard 3 things alone coming within the next 2 months and the new event, and then a whole bunch of quality of life stuff. I think that's neat. And I hope you think that's pretty neat too.
You know what thing I want really bad? I want whatever Claude was talking about on our show.
Oh,
that thing that he teased.
Tech. Yeah, they started using that word tech in a way that I wasn't familiar with in the Destiny context.
Give me.
Yeah. What is it?
I want that thing. I don't know what it is, but I want it.
That thing.
Okay, guys.
Secret thing.
That was a long ass list, but guess what? There's an encore.
Expect to hear more from us via something social media.
Yeah. And it literally happened hours later. So I was saying throughout this thing, I said early on at the beginning, I said, listen to these key words. Yeah. I really want to build the hype here. I really want to build it. Because this was light on sandbox, which means weapons, abilities, blah, blah, blah. They mentioned, more power
this
ammo
was
and
almost
quick play.
at midnight my time.
Yeah, they mentioned ranked. They mentioned new game modes. They mentioned mods. They mentioned masterwork armor reducing super strength. All of this stuff means something else. And yeah, admittedly, people are going like, all right, that's great, cool, raid rewards, but like, tell me how the Crucible changes is all I want to hear.
What is up with the sandbox?
Yeah, and they realized it. So Chris tweets late at night on Friday. This guy needs to start his weekend, have a beer, but he's still thinking about this. And he tweets something that I think it got my wheels spinning more than anything on this bullet point list. So, Wayne, do you want to read this tweet that kind of slipped in on Friday night?
I sure do. So Chris says, Destiny 2 needs more weapons that matter, both in power and the hunt to acquire them. Exotics need to live up to their name. The most skillful or visceral weapons like snipers, shotguns, and fusion rifles need to return to glory. We're on it. And he also says, this might not have come across strong enough in the update. The Sandbox team is an amazingly talented group and are hard at work on changes.
Word.
I have, my own feelings on the Sandbox. I like playing Destiny 2. Folks know that by now. You're listening to Crucible Radio. You probably know that by now. But, there's me and there's everyone else. Maybe there's me. There's the guy who doesn't care. There's the person who super cares and hates everything right now. There's the guy that is just optimistic and loving it. There's the guy who's just like, oh, I think D2 is perfect and better than anything. And there's me. And we're all in this group that we see this tweet and we're like, hell yeah. Like,
sure.
I'm down. And I can't wait to figure out what it means, but it gets me hype. And I'm down. I'm down for whatever this means. And I'm down for people to have that feeling like, let's kick ass in this game. Let's have hero moments. I love to snipe. I want to snipe more, man. I loved it. I want to do it more. I'm down.
There was another article that came out this week about how to properly convey your feedback when it comes to specifically video games. It could really apply to anything. But telling a developer how you feel about something is way more important than coming up with a solution you think is best. Because saying how you feel about the way the game plays or what you don't like in that context, like, I feel like I'm not strong enough. I feel like I'm not fast enough. I feel like I don't get to use my sniper enough, are way better than, here's what I think you should do. Because a lot of times you don't know how to fix things in the game because you don't have your hands in the code and all that behind the stuff. Behind the scenes stuff, I never.
I like behind the stuff.
Behind the stuff.
Let's get nice into it.
The stuff that I don't ever want to learn. I learn enough stuff, and learning development for video games is not on the list of things I want to learn. I just want to like the things I like, and I want to have fun while doing it. So I think this plays into that. Like, they want the feeling to be more hype. Yep.
I love hinting that I'm in some kind of industry without ever publicly revealing what it is. But yeah, this is lesson one that you learn, which is if you have an unhappy customer, you don't want to know what the solution is that they come up with. I mean, you do. And there's a lot of brilliant people in this community and a lot of good ideas that have made it into the game. You know, who knows if that was direct or not. But what you want to hear about are the problems. Tell me what you're missing. Tell me what you don't have. And that opens up a whole world of possible fixes. Always better to focus on that than on any one particular tweak because, yeah, you try it out and you should be so lucky that it works out the first time. So unless, of course, the fix you're suggesting is Rumble, I want it. Please bring it back. Okay, the problem I'm having is that I'm not playing Rumble, and the feeling that I'm having is sadness because I'm experiencing non-Rumble-based life moments.
Nah, Rumble.
See? It's that
Rumble
easy.
Will be great because of how much I play solo. And I would love to return to being able to just run solo in Rumble. It's so much fun. I miss it.
No faking it. It's only you. I feel pretty good, man. I feel pretty good. There's a lot to be excited about coming up in the Destiny world. And if this isn't scratching your itch, then I certainly don't blame you. Different strokes, but I got to tell you, they could have just had private matches, ranked playlists, and Rumble alone. That could have been the entire update, and I still would be rock hard. But this is pretty bonkers. This is a big play, putting that whole roadmap out, and I can't wait to see it start showing up.
You know what I'll say about all of this is like, we're here. We're going to be here. I'm down to grind, blah, blah, blah. If you saw this and you're just like, you know what? It sounds like everything cool is in season 3. Like, we'll see you there. I'm cool if you're just like, I'm just going to wait a little longer until that stuff hits, until these concrete ideas become a reality, blah, blah, blah. I'll see you there. Like, I'm cool with playing until then and stuff. We're going to get little things. I'll be grinding for Masterwork Armor. Like, I get it. We'll see you there. I hope you come back.
You don't want to miss out on those Iron Banner weapons because you're going to come back and you're going to be like, oh, there was this really cool Iron Banner weapon I missed out on. I don't have it and everybody's killing me with it and I'm angry.
Why does Birds look so good with those season 2 ornaments? Oh my God, I should have played. How do I get those? You can't.
You don't miss out on ornaments. If you want ornaments, you gotta come hang. But there's stuff to look forward to. I'm hoping the stuff happens sooner than later when they say it could be anywhere on the scale. It's all good, man. It's all good. Just have fun.
It's all good, bro.
That's it for me. I have nothing else to add.
Yep. I don't know what we're going to talk about next week after covering. I hope they put out another dev update this length.
It's like as long. We're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God, slow down.
Oh, my heart.
Too much communication.
As soon as Bungie starts regularly communicating with us, we're like cats. Like the Destiny community is cats, and we're going to just be like, hey, tell me something.
Yeah.
Hey, give me some attention. Hey, come over here. Come on, give me attention. And they're like, okay, fine, here. And they're like, oh my God, you're obsessed with me. Leave me alone.
Yeah, I'm gonna go hide under the bed for a while if you don't mind. That kind of sounds nice. I am gonna go hide under the bed for a while. So until next week, crucibleradio.com.
Follow us on Twitter.
Check it. We got music this week. Brand new track from friends of the show, Widowvine. The song is called "Die Like an Artist." Reminds me of like Coheed and Cambria, maybe a little Mars Volta. It's proggy. It's good. Go listen to it. Widowvine.com, Facebook.com/Widowvine. And if you're a musician, you know the drill. You could be just like Widowvine and hear yourself on Crucible Radio. All you got to do, send us some songs. crucibleradio@gmail.com.
What's up, everyone? Bones here. Do you like podcasts? Do you like chill conversation? Well, me and my co-hosts Swain and Birds put out a bonus podcast every month on Patreon. If you want to check it out and be a part of more awesome stuff, head over to patreon.com/Crucible Radio and join the squad. See you there.